Welcome to Tangermouse Studio D. I'm Kevin Delp.
And I'm Melissa Delp.
Today we're looking at the Tea Dragon Society. The Tea Dragon Society by Renegade Game Studios is a push-your-luck deck-building card game for 2 to 4 players, and it plays in about 30 minutes.
You're playing as a tea dragon caretaker, and your deck represents your tea dragon. You're trying to gain the most points by buying the right cards. The game is played over 4 seasons, starting in spring. At the end of winter, whoever has the most points wins.
Let's look at the components. There's player aid cards, starter decks with their dragons, market cards. These can increase your purchase power, have special abilities, or even be worth points. There's memory cards, and they're divided into 4 seasons and provide the most points in the game.
The game comes with 2 rule books, a regular one and a comic book quick start guide, which makes sense because the game is based on Katie O'Neill's graphic novel, The Tea Dragon Society, published by Oni Press.
For the initial setup, players will pick a dragon card and the corresponding starter deck. In the middle of the table, players will set up the market cards and the memory cards starting with spring.
On your turn, you can either draw a card or purchase a card. When you draw a card from your deck, you place it in front of you into your hold. You won't have any cards in your hand. Some cards let you draw again, others make you discard from your hold. The growth cards, like sleeping, feeding, grooming, and entertaining, have a growth value shown on the leaf. That's your purchase power.
If you purchase from the market, you discard cards from your hold equal to the cost of the new card. You then place the purchased card in your hold. Some are just higher value growth cards. Others are items that can protect you from the mischief cards or increase your chance of drawing more cards.
When you purchase a memory card, you still have to pay for it, but you don't place it in your hold. Instead, you discard it and take your discard pile and shuffle it back into your draw pile. The only cards you don't shuffle are the ones in your hold.
Play will continue until only 1 memory card is left for that season. You discard that card and put out the next season's memory cards. You also wipe the market and refill it. Then a new round starts with the next season. Once all 4 seasons have been played, then players will add up their scores to see who the winner is.
We were able to play this at different player counts, and personally I like it at the higher player counts. When you're just playing with 2 players, you're not seeing as many of those memory cards each season, so there's not as much to choose from. Also, the pace of the game can kind of slow down a little bit, because if on my turn I buy a memory card, and then on Kevin's turn all he's doing is drawing a card, but he's finished his whole turn, and I actually haven't even started shuffling my deck yet.
Yeah, that's happened a couple times, but that's okay. I can wait for you. Things I do like about the game are how I can build my deck. So I go after those inexpensive cards that really help me draw more cards for the game, or should I go after those higher point cards, which will help me hopefully win the game, but they may not have as much purchasing power, which could be a problem.
Each dragon has a similar power and has a similar deck, but they're not exact. Chamomile focuses on sleeping cards, Jasmine on grooming. So depending on which dragon you play, different market and season cards are going to synergize better with your deck.
The push your luck element can be a risk reward during the game. I might have enough growth to buy a card, but if I just had 1 more growth, I could buy a really good card. But if I waited till my next turn, I'm risking the chance of pulling a mischief card, which makes me discard cards.
Yeah, I remember this one game, it seemed like the first couple turns, all Kevin was drawing was those bad mischief cards, kind of like a fight where you have to discard it and a feeding card if you have that down.
Yeah, I was a bit discouraged seeing my empty hold and seeing Melissa's hold that had all these growth cards. But it was nice knowing that those mischief cards were out of my deck, well, until I bought a memory card.
Yeah, that's an interesting, subtle strategy that I didn't realize at first, is buying those memory cards, choosing when to buy them really puts you in control of when you shuffle your deck. So if you have a lot of good cards in your discard, then you may want to buy a memory card so you can get them back into your deck. But if, like Kevin, you have a bunch of junk in your discard, then you really have to weigh those options. Is it more important to you to get that specific memory card before another player does, or would you rather have a less risky deck?
As we said, the game is based on the graphic novel by Katie O'Neill, and the illustrations fit the gameplay well. It has a fun, lighthearted feel, and you sense that as you play and draw those mischief cards and memory cards. And the quick start guide really does a good job of easily explaining the game. The player aid cards are another helpful addition.
This is definitely a light game. On many of your turns, you're just drawing the top card of your deck and seeing what it is. Now that, at first, turned me off because I thought there weren't going to be any meaningful decisions in the game. But then as we kept playing, I saw how certain cards could synergize, especially if I bought certain ones for my deck. And even the decision of whether or not to draw a card can be significant because of the push your luck element. In some ways, it reminded me a little bit of Mystic Vale.
Yeah, so if you're looking for a quick, light game that has some push your luck and some deck building and those cute illustrations, then check out the Tea Dragon Society by Renegade Game Studios, coming to your local board game store. Wow. It wasn't me this time! Go subscribe over here.